Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. It's your boy Town Biz. All right, man, check this out. All right, so you've been hearing, well, this seemed to be absolutely 100% true, and that this is going to come to fruition within the next uh, few years, depending on how this works out. Now, as you guys know, that the NBA has announced that more than likely they're going to add two more additional teams. It appears that you're going to see the reemergence of the Seattle Supersonics, and then Las Vegas will have a team. Now, as far as conference go, it appears that the Memphis Grizzlies will be more than likely moved over to the East. That's the only team they're talking about moving over to the Eastern Conference, which I don't think that's going to make that big of a difference anyway. But here's the thing. You also heard the NBA talking about that they may reduce the amount of regular season games played to like 72 games, but yet they want to add two additional teams. So they want to do basically subtraction by addition, which that doesn't make sense. If you add two more teams, then that means you should have to add more games. Me, myself, the NBA, if they was to add two additional teams, to me, they would have to go to a 86 game schedule versus a 82 games to accommodate the extra teams. The NFL has already announced that probably within the next year or two that they're going to a full-fledged 18 game season. And they're expanding the playoffs. And I think the NBA is going to have to do the same thing. Now, look, it's not going to kill these guys to play 4 more games. Here's the thing. Since you know you're going to have a longer season, look, we all know that you really don't start really seeing the who's who of the sport. The who's who of the teams until around, 2 months really into the season, when you start to see the teams that's contenders, possibly pretenders, and maybe they're going to, be a team that's going to surprise everybody. So why not just for the first, couple of games, maybe the first 10 games, you play limited minutes for the starters. That's just basically it. Limited minutes for the starters, and you give like some of these rookies, some of these bench players more playing time. Because is it really going to hurt? Because if you're the best team in the league, you're going to eventually figure it out anyway. Hey, the Warriors figured it out. The Warriors got it together come playoff time, and, well, you seen what happened. They ended up winning it all. So my thing is, if you're going to add two more teams, like I said, you have to play more games. But the problem is, I heard Two Raw talk about this. As far as the overall NBA, let's just face the fact, man. They only want certain teams to go to the finals, because you always hear the media people complaining about where they'd rather be for the finals versus this place versus that place. At the end of the day, that ain't really your place, because technically you're supposed to show non-bias. You can't sit up there and say, well, I'm rooting for the Heat to go to the finals because I want to be in Miami versus the Charlotte or Indianapolis. You go where you're supposed to go, but that's been a big problem. I've been saying this for years. Yeah, a smaller market team may happen to make it to the NBA finals eventually or occasionally, but at the end of the day, do the NBA want those kind of teams in the finals? So sometimes you have to think about, okay, well, should the NBA retract a couple of teams or make some of these teams relocate? since people are complaining about, where they want to spend, their time covering the finals. But you have to be honest. Do you really want to be in Utah covering the finals versus being in Miami or Los Angeles or eventually Las Vegas? You know what I'm saying? Because you will hear these people say, "Oh, it's nothing to do. It's nothing to do." You see, they didn't have no problem. You see, they didn't have no problem talking about being in San Francisco for the NBA Finals. It's a lot of stuff to do in San Francisco. Now, I've never been to Boston, but I hear Boston is an okay town. You just got to keep it 100. Of course, these dudes would rather be in New York and those type of places. I think they'd like to be in Chicago if they could basically make it out of Chicago. If they can, if they can make it out of the hotel room. But you got to ask yourself, these reporters, these analysts, they basically telling on themselves. They don't want to go certain places to cover the NBA Finals. And they're part of the problem. It's a little bit different for the NFL. And I guess one main thing why the NFL is so successful as far as the Super Bowl goes, well, it's only one game. And they have a designated area where they play the Super Bowl. I don't know where the Super Bowl is going to be played this year. Somebody put that in the comment section where the Super Bowl is going to be played. But it's just one game. So I guess people could tolerate being wherever they go watch the Super Bowl at for that one day. But you talking about being in a different place, like, let's just say, once again, you talking about, do you want to be in, like I say, Indianapolis for 3 days? Do you want to be in, you just have to ask yourself that type of question. And now you living in the internet age where basically these reporters basically say to a certain degree with limitations how they feeling. So that's why the NBA machine isn't what the NFL machine is. Because, like I said before, you play the finals anywhere from 4 to 7 games. You at least going on the road, two games wherever the team is that's playing in the finals is located at. And like I said, that's the problem. Real talk. I know the Spurs were going to the finals and all that kind of stuff, but you didn't hear people saying, I'm excited about going to San Antonio. I know they had the Riverwalk and all that kind of stuff. I've been to Houston. I've been to Dallas. Dallas got a solid nightlife. And so does Houston versus San Antonio. We just got to keep it a buck. It's just certain places. It's just certain places that these media people, they just don't want to go cover sports at. And that's just unfortunate. Like I said before, I could tell you right now, if the Utah Jazz was to go to the finals, I could tell you right now, these analysts would be complaining about being in Utah. It's nothing to do in Utah. Is there anything to do in Cleveland? Even though LeBron James played at Cleveland, you didn't hear people say, I'm excited about going to Cleveland. I mean, even with the Warriors was playing in Oakland, there's a lot of stuff to do in the overall Bay Area, even if it isn't in Oakland. Because San Francisco is just really the next city over. Then you know, 30, you know what I'm saying? Then, 30, 40 miles down the 880 freeway is San Jose. So I'm just saying that just don't, that just don't make sense. But then again, it does make sense. The problem with the NBA is that these people, they just don't want to go certain places to watch games. That's just factual. That's why they always hoping that the Miami Heat, the Chicago Bulls, the Boston Celtics are, and hopefully some New York team is at least always in the Final Four. And the same thing with the West. Now they want the Warriors to go. Of course, they would love for the Lakers to be at least playing in the finals every year. The Lakers, the Warriors now, maybe even Dallas, a team like that. But ask yourself this: do you want to go hang out in Denver for the next 3 or 4 days for the finals? You just got to keep it. You just got to keep it a buck. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You would think the NBA has figured this out. And this is what I'm saying. It all goes down to everything. It goes down to players. It goes down to location. That all comes together. This is why I've been saying for years that they need to let smaller market teams have bigger salary caps. And that the NBA should also help pitch in paying the salaries of these superstar players to get them to stay in those type of places. Because everybody can't come to Miami. Everybody can't come to Los Angeles. Everybody can't come play for the Warriors. That's just the truth. NBA needs to try to figure this out. Anyway, just wanted to give you a quick rant video. It's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.